Hey everyone, the guys at Billabong are giving away a trip to stay at the Billabong Team House at Pipe on the North Shore of Hawaii. Visit billabong.com to enter the sweepstakes. And now, onto the podcast. Welcome back to the Occ-Cast. I've got Neville with me. An entrepreneur, filmer, surfer, all-around legend. Thanks, Kai, for coming.
Cheers, Occ. Stoked to be here.
Yeah, far out. You flew up all the way from Sydney to do this for me.
Of course. As soon as I heard that you want to be on the show, I was like, I wouldn't miss that one. So
Epic.
Stoked to be here. Yeah, it's good. It's been a big day.
It's been a big day, eh? How's your flight?
The flight was mellow, but I was actually at Aussie Pipe this morning.
You were not.
Yeah.
You serious?
Yeah, so we...
At my spot?
At your spot.
You were at South Coast Pipe. How was it?
It was pretty fun.
How big?
Like 4 foot.
No way.
It's such a magnet.
Not yet. Oh, you had a south swell, north wind?
Yeah, nah, it was kind of funky wind.
Oh,
but
funky wind.
I was there with Craig Anderson and Dan
you were?
Aegis, and
Okay.
they
Filming those guys?
They liked the funky wind.
Oh, so they were doing big airs.
They kind of, they were flying around.
They were flying around.
It was cool. I was just surfing. I wasn't filming for once. So
Oh, you were surfing with them?
Yeah,
Who was filming?
one of their boys from the South Coast.
Okay.
Yeah, they got a guy called Dave Fox, and Ty Glander was shooting him, and yeah, it was nice just to surf. I'm trying to surf more.
No, you should.
Yeah.
You film too much.
I've been-
and were you
I've
doing
been
some
filming
airs
for
yourself?
No,
No
I was going
airs?
right.
Oh, you going, how good's that little right?
I'm
Yeah.
a natural footer, so I just let, it was actually perfect. I just let them go left every wave, and I would just sniff around on the rights and do a couple cutbacks, and that was me. Done.
So you went all the way from the South Coast, Jervis Bay, all the way to Sydney
Yeah.
and flew, and now you're on the Gold Coast.
I kind of timed it. I thought we got up early and I'd have 3 hours under my belt, and then I jumped on the highway, and it's been pretty non-stop getting here, because you know what the Sydney roads are like.
I know.
Give yourself 3 hours, but you really need 4. But cruising, yeah.
You made it. Thank you. So how did you start out, like, with your filming career?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, before that, I actually got a little bit of a bone to pick with you.
Oh yes, please.
Because I've watched, all your movies, Modern Collective, probably my favourite, but I've wondered why you've never actually wanted to film me.
I have filmed you. You just don't know it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I used
What
to
do
be
you
a little
mean?
grom running down here, wait for like guys like you, Mick and Joel to paddle out.
Yeah.
And you guys just didn't know I filmed.
Nice
But
comeback.
like, that's kind of how I started.
Really?
Yeah,
You're kidding me?
I'd seriously, like, I'd park when I was like 18. I would park down at Snapper. I'd surf, and then as soon as one of like my favourite surfers came out, I would run back to the car, grab my camera, film till they came in, go and surf, and I did that for like 6 months until I had enough footage to make an edit, and I showed the guys at Surfing Life my kind of snapper reel that I put to music, and ended up getting a little job. Yeah.
Wow. That's how it kind of started.
I've got
So I've got
sections.
two questions in one right there. I was
Yeah.
like, how did you start and why did you film me?
I'll have to dig up the old sections. You got a full
Please.
section in some of the
Okay,
old
are you
movies,
kidding
yeah.
Shit. So we'll start with like, when did you start filming?
Yeah.
And who did you start filming? I mean,
Yeah.
it was us, but
So it was grade 11 when I chose
grade
filming.
11, still in school.
Still in school. I chose film and television as an elective. And as soon as I took that class, I was like, this is what I want to do. It was like the funnest thing you could do at school. And we'd run around making silly little movies. But I've always been the biggest surf frother. I love to surf. And it was kind of timing at the time. I had friends like, Dean Brady and Ryan Campbell, because I grew up in Noosa, up the Sunshine Coast, and I was surfing, but those guys ended up getting really good, and almost too good to the point where I got to film you guys and stop surfing. And as I was doing film and television, I started to make little edits, and they kind of, as soon as I did the first edit, I put a Stevie Wonder track to it at school and showed the teacher.
What was the song?
Very Superstitious.
I still knew it was.
It was sick. So
I was going to say that.
I kind of just, fell in love with it. Yeah. And it just kind of, I don't know, I kind of fell on my feet, I guess, after that first first edit, I started filming those guys. They got better. Moved to the Gold Coast. Started filming guys like Mick, and I didn't even know anyone. You're just lucky living here because there's so many good surfers.
Yeah, right.
But you just roll up to D-Bar and
on the right day, and
yeah.
you got it. Yeah.
And then I kind of, as I got older, I started to get my own little clique of guys that I'd travel around with.
Yeah. And your relationship with Taylor Steele, some people say you're the Australian version of Taylor Steele, but how does it sit with you? I mean, like, you're your own person. I'm sure you're way better than that.
Way better.
Way better.
Nah, I don't know.
But did he, like, influence you or teach you stuff? Or
For sure. I grew up watching Taylor Steele movies,
Yep.
so as a grown, we'd throw in the VHS tapes, Loose Change, Momentum
Yep.
Under the Influence,
Yep.
all those flicks. We'd watch them all day and then go surf, and he's been like one of the biggest influences for me, especially the way he changed the way surf filmmaking was made, where it wasn't so much about the technology and it was more about the action. And that's what we were really psyched on, like what was actually happening, the airs, and not so much the beautiful imagery. Like the films of, I guess, the 80s and 70s were just beautiful.
Yeah.
But
You
it was
mean
definitely
like
about the action.
You mean
but,
like a Jack McCoy kind of movie?
Yeah,
Or,
but I love
or
that.
like a Dick Hall movie
It was
where
different,
it's all
like
sparkly and nice.
You could tell Taylor really didn't care
About
as
that.
much what
Yeah.
he was shooting with, because I'm sure when he started it was like a little handy cam, and I think it made us attainable to us, where like, oh, we can get a shitty little handy cam and put some cool music to it. So I was psyched on that generation. And I was in Hawaii one year working for Surfing Life magazine, and I was staying with Dion Aegis at the Body Glove House, and we were just running around filming a little project, and he came running back and he's like, "Hey guy, Taylor Steele wants to meet you. I think he wants to offer you a job." And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up."
Oh, really? That did that happen?
What are you talking about, dude? Like, I thought he was just taking the piss, as the boys do. And he's like, no, come with me now. And I don't know where we were. We were just on... he was
Where were you?
We were at Rockies, and he was staying at a house,
Around
one of the
Pipe.
boys' house.
Yeah,
And this is like Taylor at the peak of his career.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
still at the peak, but I just went, okay, cool. And I was so nervous, and he was like, "Hey Kai, nice to meet you. I've seen some of the work you're doing," and gave me his details and said, "I'm looking for filmers to work on the next project," and sent me an email, went back and forth, and he offered me a job, and I was working for one
Taylor
of the best
Steele.
filmmakers in the world.
Ever.
Yeah, he was,
All time.
and he was a pretty amazing mentor for a couple of years
He
over
is.
the progression of my film career.
I've got one story about Taylor Steele,
Yeah.
because just like Taylor, but he's been filming Kelly and that for years. But I was one time got to work with Taylor, and I was in Bali, and there was a big swell hitting G-Land, and there we had I think it was an Occ Grom comp at Chengdu. Anyway, so the big swell was at G-Land, and Taylor lives near Chengdu, right? And so he hired a helicopter
Yeah.
for the day. So he's like, "Oh, I'm going to film you. We're going to get on the helicopter. We're going to go to G-Land." And I'm like, "Sweet, okay." I'm like, "Can I bring a bigger board?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know what size board's going to fit in there." So I bought a 6.5 and a 6.3. So we got to the airport in Bali. 6.5 did not fit in.
Yeah.
And the 6.3 didn't
In the helicopter?
either. In the helicopter, no. And the 6.3, actually, I think it was a 6.8 and didn't fit in. The 6.5, shut it out by about 3 inches. So the Balinese pilot took one door off, and he said, "We sweet, just chuck it in there." So we flew to G-Land from Bali with only one door on the helicopter, and I was freaking out.
That's
And we landed, and we got there right on high tide. It was perfect speed reef. Taj was already there, and I don't think they ever used the.
Is that for
clips.
when they were filming Trilogy?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like you've got a part, like an underground part in one of his films called
in one of his
Untitled.
films, really?
Yeah, I have to dig that up.
Thank you. Can you please do that?
Yeah.
'Cause
Oh,
I'm one of those guys. I feel like that. No
Taylor
one's...
you didn't have, what's going on?
I know.
You should hit him up about that.
I know. I'm gonna hit it. Yeah, gee whiz.
That's not
Anyway, I need to ask you, what's your favourite films that you've done with Billabong?
With Billabong?
Yeah. How many have you done?
With Billabong?
Yep.
Yeah, I've done, well, I guess the biggest film I've worked on with Billabong was probably with Taylor Trilogy.
Yeah.
And that was kind of probably one of the biggest projects I've ever worked on at that time. I'd been working for Taylor for like 6 months, and to get thrown in the mix with, say, Andy and Taj was like, I was just such a grom, like, just like doing these ones, like bug-eyed and with my heroes. And that's probably the biggest one, and that was probably the funnest project to work with them. But yeah, Billabong's been fun to work with the last year, just their team right now with guys like Creed and now they got Otis and Shawnee Manners and Callanan and Freestone, and everyone's ripping, and
got a real diverse team,
so it's been good working with those guys the last kind of 12 months, and yeah, they're kind of shredding all the boys.
Yeah, cool. I mean, well, not your favourite film for Billabong, but your favourite film that you've worked on then.
Okay. So I guess the one that stands out is definitely Modern Collective for me. Even looking back on that now is kind of pretty strange. I was talking about this with some of the boys that were in the movie the other day, because I'd worked on Stranger Than Fiction with Taylor Steele, which was a part-based film, and that was kind of introducing the next gen of guys, Dane Reynolds, Geordie Smith, Dion got a section, Yaden Nickel, and I really gelled with the younger crop that were kind of under guys like Bruce and Andy and
Dane.
Yeah, all those guys that have been ripping for like Taylor's movies the last 3 years. And after we finished Stranger Than Fiction, Taylor was like, hey, do whatever you want. But pretty much he's like, come up with a concept, I'll try raise a budget, and you can kind of take the reins and directing the next film. And I was like, I just kind of took it and ran, and pared it down to 6 guys and minimal locations, and sort of showing surf trips and the lifestyle of those guys. And I was so green and so young in making that project that it was a good thing. Like,
how old were you at the time?
I think I was 22 when we started.
That's young.
So we didn't really think about what we were doing. We just did it, and like that's
the way it works.
Yeah, and it just kind of worked. And we made a blog, kind of updating our daily. I actually looked at the blog the other day, and it's just so funny how like young and raw it is. And so that was a really fun film for me that could have gone either way, I guess. I didn't even think about it because we were so involved and immersed in the project at the time. We were just filming, listening to music and making movies, that if it didn't go well, that probably would have been it. But for some reason, it kind of had a little cult following, and there was something there that people liked, and it kind of set myself up for doing 3 films straight after that. Well, 5 films actually, but that's probably
five altogether after that.
Yeah,
can you name them in a row?
So I did Modern Collective.
Yep, and which was a big hit.
Yeah, it came. It was, I guess it was a hit. I'm stoked. And and then straight after that, I went off on my own, started my own production company, and the first film that I raised a budget for was Lost Atlas. So that was another 12-month project with similar cast. A couple of new guys like Craig Anderson and stuff got involved in that. And then after that one, it was Dear Suburbia. And then I did a little sort of project with Geordie Smith, Bending Colours. And then I did Cluster, which was like, I released that a year ago. So that was 5 big projects, like, and we spent 12 months on each project. So it was a pretty hectic run.
Busy.
Yeah, busy. Running around, so I kind of just got spat out like a year ago. Like,
you did.
Like, whoa, okay, that was crazy. What am I doing now? And I kind of pumped the brakes a little bit. So
yeah, right.
But yeah, that was what kind of started it all.
Yeah. And so next question. I'd like, who is the hardest and the easiest? You don't probably actually do have to name names. The one person I want to ask first of all is like Dane Reynolds. Like, I know he's a different character.
Yeah.
Last time I saw Dane was at Trestles, the year that I was on my way to Brazil, but I was like, I had like a 3rd in Margaret River, and then I got like a 9th at Trestles, and like I went up to like 20 on the Raiders in the QS, and I was not trying to chase
re-qualifying, but then I ran into him at like a super A-Mart or like a liquor store in
explains
San Clemente.
Dane,
That doesn't explain Dane good,
yeah.
And he was buying beer, and I was like, he's like, how you going? I'm like, oh, I'm so bummed, I just lost, and I lost a Pat to Gdauskas, and I told him why, and he didn't really care. But I was like, at least he's buying beer and I'm buying beer. But how is he to work with? Is he really easygoing?
He's super easygoing.
Yeah.
He's one of the most like modest guys and one of the most talented guys I've ever worked with for sure. I think the first trip I did for him when we were filming Stranger Than Fiction, he's so modest. It was just me and him, and it was around the. I think he was surfing in the Mr. Price Pro at the time.
Okay.
But I came over just so we could kind of make the most of it and try and nail some clips. When he was in the contest, I think he got knocked anyway, but it was one day the waves were kind of...
he didn't care?
Nah, he didn't care. He was more psyched on filming at the time,
Yeah.
but one day the waves were kind of shitty and Dane's like, don't film, come surfing. And like, I'm like, oh nah, dude, I'll be psyched to film. He's like, oh really? Okay, cool. And then we go down and film and like, he nailed something for the movie. Like, it kind of like, he just wants to hang out and surf.
Yeah, he's so modest. He'll
so
be like,
so modest.
Nothing's going to happen today, but watch this.
But he's one of the biggest surf frothers out there, which I think is what has kept Dane kind of enthused. And he just would literally love to surf all day, watch the clips, drink beer, and just do his own thing. That's all he's about.
That's all he does. It's a simple life.
Yeah, and I think he likes surrounding himself with
people
just
like that,
good, friendly people, and so I've loved working with him over the years.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dane's Dane. He's an eccentric dude, and you never know what he's going to do next. But I think that's why people love him.
Yeah, that's epic. And well, I can't say the worst, but maybe the hardest guy to work with. You can't say anyone, can you? Really?
Oh, fuck, I'm trying to think.
To try and nail someone down.
Someone that's just been a prick. Where
They're
I'm
just like, just like turn up, like the way 6 feet, like where are you? And they
I kind of had, well, I guess I was kind of lucky that you can't really do that these days.
You can't not turn up.
Not in what we do. In like, you could maybe get away with that in the competitive scene, but being a free surfer, if you're a jerk to work with, like,
you're not working with them.
Pretty much. Like, and I think that's kind of been the mentality, even through Taylor's films and through my films, is where we're going to work, we're going to surf, it's going to be fun. Like, if you're on your own weird trip or you're difficult to work with and you're not clicking with the rest of the guys, then you're not coming. So
you're not coming.
I've kind of had a pretty, like, that's been our mentality. Like, you got to be fun to work with. And so anyone that, I don't know, I haven't worked with anyone that's been a nightmare, really.
No.
Most people are fucking cool. I don't know. Maybe I've been lucky or just haven't...
I thought you were giving me a weird look there. No, I know we went to France last year and...
you were the best part of the trip.
And we surfed that river wave, didn't we?
We drank wine all day and surfed in a river. It was sick.
And we missed the wave.
We did, but...
Well, we caught the wave the first day.
The wave was too small.
It was too small, yes.
It wasn't,
just to explain to everyone, They
just lubed up us up.
They did, wine. We went to the winery, which was a bad decision.
You don't go to a French chateau before surfing.
I know.
When someone's surfing caviar, white wine, and red wine, it's a kind of recipe for disaster with a bunch of young surfers.
Just to explain to the audience, we're in a place in Bordeaux in France, and so on the full moon, every full moon the wave comes into the river. And so it's a tidal wave, so it comes at a certain time every year. And the first day we caught it.
It was so fun.
And it was good. And I surfed it for like 10 minutes. But then the second day we went to the winery and the whole team came.
Yeah.
And I think it cost a lot of money. We had everyone from like Greg Long to Courtney Conolog and everyone in between. So we were all like holding on to the boat, an outrigger, and then it was like, the wave's coming, and it came and it didn't break and I missed it. And then like I saw Greg Long missed it, and I was like, oh, phew-wee. And then Courtney missed it, and then everyone missed it. I'm like, because I was like out the back.
I remember the first day, it was like, the wave was bigger.
It was bigger.
And everyone got it, but there was like about 60 kooks in between say,
us,
you and someone else. Like, I'm talking the wildest European-looking people ever.
I know.
And then the next day, it was pretty funny. Everyone was like huddled in, like, this is the plan.
Yeah,
we're going to block this guy off, and everyone
and
stick together. And everyone just missed the wave.
We missed the wave. It would have cost them a cool, probably 200 grand to set that thing
Wasn't
up.
my budget,
No,
but
no.
the wine was delicious.
It
And
was.
Yeah.
And we had a good time.
we had a hell time.
So what's next? I know you're
Yeah.
off to Portugal soon.
I'm off to Portugal, so yeah,
Couple days.
I'm off to Portugal Sunday, and
To work with?
to work with the Billabong guys.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Creed.
yeah, pretty much the whole team. We'll have Creed and Otis, and we'll link up with Jack and Callanan, and not sure who else is coming, but the plan is to kind of shoot around Portugal for a few days, and
Yep.
then Canaries and
Canary Islands. Cool.
yeah. So I'm a little bit in the dark on that one.
Okay.
Which is cool because I kind of like that. We'll just kind of shoot it as we get in there. But yeah, it's been good. I guess I kind of off the back of what we were talking about before, I had those big projects that I was working on, and it was like a 12-month thing that you commit yourself to. So it's been fun just to kind of sink my teeth into different shit, like,
right.
and work on smaller jobs and work on some fashion-related stuff. And I've kind of started a few other companies with the boys that we're working on, and just to mix it up.
Yeah,
do
for
something
sure.
Different. Yeah.
And what kind of fashion stuff are you doing on that side of
a little bit
project?
of swimwear stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
it's really hard work. Now, anything that's different from shooting surfing, because I still enjoy doing that, but I did it for 10 years, and it can. I think you need to kind of change it up to keep the creative juices sort of flowing. So I've been shooting, stuff for Sea Folly and more commercial stuff that I wouldn't put on my portfolio or like really,
Okay.
you know, it's just like, it's just fun to work on, but it's
not like creepy stuff.
No. Not creepy at all. I've actually been doing a bunch of, it's not creepy at all. It's just commercial, like, yeah.
Stuff that you got to do.
Just different to what I've done in the past.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. And so, last question.
Yep.
Any like next big projects, movies, anything that is in the making that we need to know about, or that you can tell us about?
Yeah. I have a few like ventures that I'm working on, which have been really fun. It's actually been a pretty big project, but 3 years ago, actually started when we were shooting Modern Collective, and me, Mitch Colborn and Dion Aegis, we really wanted to do a brand of some sort that was just our own, and we had creative control over, and we wanted to do a clothing label, but they were getting paid too much money from their sponsors, so
Not gonna happen.
couldn't do that.
No.
That'd ruin all our careers.
It
So
would.
we ended up starting Occ-Eyewear, which has been really cool.
Okay, cool.
And we went into that not knowing anything, and the first frames we designed were terrible, and we've kind of over the last 3 years built it up to a pretty successful company, and I've been spending a lot of time on that, working on the marketing and the frames.
Where's that based out of?
It's based out of Byron Bay.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're kind of all off on the road, but that's like a little hub where we do all the shipping, we do all the business sort of stuff, but we actually design the frames in Italy.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
where?
I'm actually going to Italy for a couple of days before Portugal.
Oh,
Just
no
to
way. Oh, you are?
work on the new range.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
So
Wow,
That's-
you should maybe sponsor me. I'm
well,
Italian.
let's get Occhi on a Pocky.
This makes
Oh,
sense, doesn't it?
It's on. We're on the team. Come
Let's
on.
go. Let's do
We got,
that.
It's Creed.
I thought I had sunnies on my head. I was going to throw them away right there, but
It's Creed, Freestone,
yeah,
Colborn,
I'm in.
Dion.
I'm in.
We got little Shawnee Manners, Dakota.
I'm in.
It's on, boys. Did you hear
You heard
that?
it right here.
Occhi's getting on a Pocky.
Absolutely.
Sick. We would be thrilled to have you.
I'd
What sort of
love
frames
to.
are you going to design?
Just
You can
wrap
design
around,
whatever.
yeah.
Just wrap around.
The whole head, yeah.
Yeah. Good shit.
So yeah, anyway, thanks Kai
Cool.
for coming on
Yeah,
my
pleasure.
Occ-Cast.
Thanks for having me on.
And safe travels to Portugal and Italy, and I'll be waiting for my sunnies.
Don't worry.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers, boys.
Wow.